Well, welcome back. Welcome to Transformation TV Live. I'm your host, Dr. Princess Adelia, and I have a wonderful show for you today. I am going to have the best conversation with a walking, living testimony today. Her name is Loretta Osby, CEO of Perspectives for Life. And I'm telling you, Perspectives for Life has come with what our communities in Detroit and everywhere need. That is affordable transitional housing for adults and for young adults, 17 to 26, and also senior citizen services. The transitional housing program that they have is absolutely amazing. But before we even talk about that, you're going to join me live with a conversation with CEO Loretta Osby. And when we come back, she and I are going to sit and talk. Hello, how are you?
Hi.
How you doing, girl? So, I cannot wait to get into this conversation because your story is absolutely amazing. I am just super excited. So, while I'm excited, I want you to get on your phones, call your neighbors and friends, tell them that we're on live. I want you to get on Facebook, your Twitter, Hootsuite people, LinkedIn, whatever it is. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back. You're watching Transformation Live TV with your host, Dr. Princess Adelia, and my very special guest today, Loretta Osby, CEO of Perspectives for Life.
Hi.
Hi. So you are just so amazing. First of all, I just got to tell you that. Your story is phenomenal, and you are a living, walking testimony. So always, before I talk to anybody about what you're doing and about Perspectives for Life, it's so important for us to capture your story. So let me know what happened to you in November 2012. Let us know. Let's talk about that, how this all started.
Gladly. I'm glad to be here, first of all.
Thank you.
But in November of 2012, I was working, I was active, I was doing everything I was told you need to do to have the best in life. You know how they say, pull yourself up by the bootstraps, make sure you get all the things you're supposed to have. And I had all that. And I was working downtown at the VA hospital. And in November, I got a phone call that my grandmother was ill. And I called her doctor and asked if I could bring her in. He said yes, so I brought her in, and I called my husband and I told him, I said, Grandma's not feeling good, we're gonna take her to the doctor. He says, stop by and pick me up. Well, it was so ironic because usually he would have been gone fishing. But that particular day, he said, pick me up, I'm gonna go with you. We got to Grandma's house, and Grandmother was standing there looking like a little Pocahontas because she had long hair, and she said, Red, I don't want to go. And I said, well, Grandma, if you don't go, we're not going to know what's wrong with you. And she said, well, okay, if you think we need to go, we'll go. So we started on our way towards Dearborn Heights. We were on Warren in the Southfield Freeway ramp. And this kid comes up off the ramp, not looking at what he's doing because he's texting on his phone.
Wow.
And instead of turning right into his lane, he came all the way over and turned right and hit us head on.
Wow.
As a result of that, my husband is paralyzed. My grandmother passed away, and I was told that I would not be able to walk. And at the time when they were telling me this, I could barely talk. And at that point, I realized something has to give because I was so hurt with my grandmother passing. And then I'm watching how my husband is being treated, being paralyzed, and it was nothing that I could do for him.
Wow.
And I did have therapy, I had rehab, and they took me to a point of where they said there was nothing else they could do. And then we had to move, and we became independent in the sense of we needed care providers and things of that nature. We actually both moved into where we live now in wheelchairs. But I'm glad to say I'm no longer in a wheelchair. I may have a limp, but one thing I know about that limp is His grace is sufficient.
That's right.
And I have pains and I have my issues, but the most important thing to me was the perspective. I had to change my perspective because I could no longer just sit there and be concerned about my husband, what's going to happen to him, what's going to happen to us. I'm watching everything that we worked all our life for just go out the window. When things like this happen, you don't realize your life insurance is gone. Nobody's taking care of your bills. Everything that you were paying has ceased unless you got somebody in that position. So things for Willie and I just totally drastically changed.
Yes.
And some people say, oh, they're going to get a lot of money and this and that. You don't realize this is a long process to get all that done. And so in the meantime, what do? And if you're not careful, you'll lose your mind. And I know what I'm talking about because my husband is my life. And he's first and foremost in everything that I do. And when I saw the mistreatment and the mishandling of him, I said, I got to get it together or we both going to end up dead.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that's just the bottom line.
Wow.
It was a difficult time because when my grandmother passed away and they told me, like I said, I couldn't talk and I couldn't even figure out how to deal with those emotions. And then I'm looking at my husband, who was vibrant, had not one but 2 gardens, walked 2 and 3 times a day, fished every day. I come in from work because he was already retired. He'd have the vegetables in the sink that he picked from the garden. Then he'd be going out to catch the fish that I would cook before I go to work that night. So it was very hard on me. And as I looked at that, I said, people are losing their minds. The pressures of life can be so hard.
That's right.
I look at individuals like, for example, the gentleman that when the Sam Club closed their doors and they said out of business, closed, and people were going to their jobs. They thought they had some security. They might have been living from paycheck
to paycheck.
Right, but they thought they were going to work. And they get there, especially in my opinion for a man, to go to the door and say, closed for business. What
are you talking about?
Right. And I feel like a lot of the murders and the homicides because people
it's all about perspective.
Yes.
When you talk about the murders, the homicide, the suicides, people are losing their minds because of circumstances and the perspective they have about it.
Right.
And it's more so the perspective they have about it than the circumstance. Because if they understood that the circumstance was literally a part of life's process for them, a challenge or whatever they had to go through, and that's hard. Like sometimes I don't like when I tell people that, it was on purpose. They're like, don't say that. It's like, these things that happen that are really, really bad, you mean it's on purpose? Like, how do you explain that? But when you understand that life's intent is that everything is all good, and it really is. It's a matter of our perspective about it, and to understand that the challenge and everything that we're to go through is so that we can grow and develop, and also understand that whatever happens, it's to strengthen you and it's for the positive, period. And the negative and the positive must be present in one given circumstance just so that there can be so that a situation can even exist.
Right.
But you have your grandmother, she sacrificed her soul for you. That created your story, and it's sad, but when you think of grandmother, her legacy, I'm telling you,
it hurts, but I also have to know my perspective is all things are working together for my good. Now, while I was going through it,
no, absolutely,
I didn't see it that way.
That's right.
But had I not gone through that, you and I would not be talking about what we're talking about now.
That's right.
And I realized I didn't do it all by myself. I had individuals that were helping me, and you need to know where to go and how to go and what to do and what to say and when to say. But if you're in this thing all alone and your mindset is, I can't do anything because your mind is just so frozen with fear or pain or hurt, you'll lose it.
That's right.
That's just the best way to put it.
That's
You'll
right.
lose it. But if you change your perspective, I had to change my perspective. Yes, I had to teach myself how to walk. Yes, I had to fall into the door. Yes, I had to hit my head and get scrapes on my body. This is one right here that will never go away. So that I could learn how to walk, so that I could be there for my husband, because he didn't have another mouthpiece. He didn't have anybody else there. And it's always been us. He's taking care of me, and I take care of him. And so I've gone through some things in order that it may help me to help someone else. And that's what it's about.
That's right.
The world has become so cruel sometimes. I look at people and I'm like, why is everybody so mean? Because they got hardships of life.
That's right.
You
And
know,
their perspective is adverse most times.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what needs to change, and that's what Perspectives for Life is all about.
What did you say? Change your mind,
Change your
life.
That's it. Change your mind,
change your life. And don't you change that dial. We'll be right back after this. Yes. Welcome back. You are definitely engaged in a conversation that I'm having with CEO of Perspectives for Life, Loretta Osby. And in case you've just tuned into the show, she just shared with us a phenomenal story about your life, your near-death experience. And one thing I wanted to capture, remember, when you shared with me in your unconscious state in that bed after the accident, hit by a texting while driving.
Yes. Stop
teen.
texting,
Right.
guys. Stop
Right.
it.
That's right. So in that experience, your grandmother lost her life. Your husband would probably be dead right now, because there would have been no one here to take care of him. But then you said when you were unconscious, your mother, and you overheard staff talking to your mom about how they didn't think you were going to live either.
Right. I could hear them talking.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
And
That's.
I
Oh
was
my gosh.
like thinking in my mind, who they talking about?
Right.
And it dawned on me, they were talking about me. And my leg had swollen so bad. The actual impact of the accident, my left foot, the toes was facing the trunk.
Girl, bye.
When they took me. And my leg swole up. One leg swole up that big.
Wow.
And that's no exaggeration. And they wanted to operate and they couldn't. They said that I would not make it. And I'm thinking, who are they talking about? They can't talk. And I'm thinking, they're not talking about me, because I'm not going anywhere. But because the leg was so huge, they had to put these rods through them. They put about 3 of them in. And I didn't have any payment for it. And my mother told me every time they popped it in, I quoted a scripture. Now, I can't tell you what scripture I quoted, but they say what's in you come out.
That's
so
right.
I
That's
guess
right.
That's what came out. And then I had not 1, but 2 surgeries on that leg. And on this left leg, on the left side of that bone and into the ankle and the toes, is a false apparatus to make the leg work. It was so bad that one of the best doctors in Michigan told me, said, I'll see you soon, because it's not if it breaks, it's when it breaks. When it breaks, because it's going to all fall apart. So I walk every day. And I'm going to tell you, it's not easy. It's not easy. You know, people see me, they say, oh, there's nothing wrong with her. You need to know the story and the aftermath. There are times when I can't even move, but I refuse, even when I have bad headaches, what have you, I refuse to let anybody see me like that, because I refuse to stay down, because I believe that if you keep your mind focused, like for Perspectives for Life, one of the things that's most important to me is that if you got food, you got shelter, you got the things that you need in life that are required, and you can get into a place and be with someone that's going to be with you and show you and guide you, you can change your perspective.
That's right.
You can change your mindset that things are going to be better. But if you get to a place where this is all I have, and you talk negative, because with the mouth, with the tongue you speak, and what you speak, you either bring truth, what you're saying is negative, or it's either positive. I refuse to have a negative in my life. it's too much negative things going around in this world. I plan to be positive, not just for myself, but for others who want to be that way too.
That's right.
And that Perspectives for Life is
gotta,
a place where they can get help if they want.
And you got to give them something to work with.
Exactly.
You know, because a lot of people just don't have anything to work with. Right. They feel like that. But the most powerful tool that we have is the mind. You can create what you need with the resources. You can choose to change a circumstance. You know, like you said that the attorney told you he didn't think you were going to be here.
He did.
He said
when I saw you, I didn't think you was going to make it.
Right. He wanted you to retain me before you die.
And he's an awesome attorney.
So it's just amazing. But what you're doing, just that word, and ever since I've met you, I can't tell you how often I use perspective. Just the term, I've used it before, but now I recognize that I use it because of Perspectives for Life. And I think about your story. So I'm always talking to people and I say, you know what, you got to change your perspective, you know? And that is what life is all about. Because, you know, I was telling somebody the other day, I said, you know what? I said, you're the star in your own movie. We are all individual stars in our own movie, and we all have the leading role. So everything in our life, every circumstance in our life is a part of a scene in our movie. At the end of the day, have you ever watched a movie that the star didn't win at the end?
Yes, I
don't know. Whatever movie that is, you let us know so we don't know to never go to see that one.
I want my close-up, Mr. DeVille. No, but most of these star wins.
Because the star always wins. I mean, let's just say 99.9% of the time when you watch a movie, the star always wins. I mean, that's inevitable, right? But in that movie, there's a plot in the beginning. It's established, the point of it. All of the naysayers and the people they're going to have to battle, the circumstances they're going to have to battle, is in the first part of the movie. So you know the nature of the beast. Then you watch the star battle the beast. Then you watch the star right at the end before the star is about to win. Then everything that they were challenged with from the beginning to this point here, they're challenged with it times 10. And you're on the edge, which creates the ambiance, because now we're on the edge of the seat and they're like, oh my God, no! And it feels like it's gonna be, they're gonna die, they're gonna lose or whatever. But then we say, oh man, it's the same climax at the end. They won. Well, no kidding, Sherlock, they were gonna win anyways. But in life, as we are the leading stars in our movie, those circumstances that some of them, man, they hurt. Some of them, we like, what the hell was God thinking when he did this? Those things hurt. But guess what? You're the star in your movie. So every circumstance was on purpose.
Right.
And it's amazing. Your story is absolutely amazing. And we're going to talk about your programs and services too. So.
Well, you mentioned God, and when I was falling down and what have you, trying to learn how to walk, I had to always remember that he knows the thoughts and the plans that he has for me.
That's right.
And they are to prosper.
That's right.
There is nothing that happens to you that is to be used to bring you down.
That's right.
You're supposed to take that and use it to the best of your ability to make the best of it. And then guess what? You know you're there, because when that happens, when you wake up in the morning, that's what's on your mind.
That's right.
When you go to bed at night, that's what's on your mind.
That's right.
And then this thing is being birthed in you, and then you realize, you know what? I've gone through this for a reason. My husband and I, we sat down together. We've been at death's doors several times, and we decided, I said, honey, we got to do something. He said, yeah. I said, we're here for a purpose.
That's right.
You know, we've always been giving people, but I told them, you know, people talk about their legacy, they want to leave this one. I want to leave something that's going to allow somebody else to leave their legacy.
Girl, bye. That's what I'm talking about.
I want, life has been good to me. I've been through many challenges. I mean, I've been through a lot. And people say, She don't look like I've been through a lot. I've been homeless. I've been several things. I've been detached from my home. I left home at an early age as a teenager. I came back to Detroit. The friends that I do have that are alive, they don't want nothing to do with me because they don't even know me anymore. But I'm focused.
That's right.
I'm focused, and I'm determined because you hit on something. People say, "Why are you doing that? What you want to do that for?" You can be because I'm eating this. I'm living this.
That's right.
I'm breathing
That's
this.
right.
Everything I do, I'm like, you know what? That can help somebody in Perspectives for Life. You know what? I just found out. Did you know
That's
that?
right.
Perspective. Did you know that the mother could? A lot of people don't realize there's things out there to help them. And with Perspectives for Life, you got people that are intimidated. You got people that don't know. But you're going to have a mentor with you that's going to take you through step by step. I mean, even if your situation may be, you might have to get on food stamps. But let me tell you something, in Perspectives for Life, you won't be staying on it. Because you need to get off that place to allow somebody else to come. That's not meant for us to stay there. It's not meant for us to get comfortable.
It's a step up.
Exactly.
It's a step up.
To help you. And then guess what? You need to pay that back.
That's
and
right.
what I mean by that is help somebody. You might not be able to do it the way I'm doing it, or might not be able to do it the way somebody else is doing it, but you got purpose, and there's a way for you to do it. Just look into your heart and be grateful. I've learned to be grateful for everything. I look at my mom. She raised all of us. She never complained. And I'm going to tell you, anybody that know my mom, Winnie Thomas Mobley, that's my mom, she was asked to be in Jet magazine. She's educated. She put everything on the sideline for us to have what we had. My father was nowhere in the picture. We never lacked for nothing. My mother drove nice cars. She brought a house. We had clean clothes. We had new clothes. We never lacked for anything. And my mother always taught us to go for what we wanted to.
That's right. And that's because you're responding to whatever is the strongest desire in your gut, which is the vision and the soul's desire, your life's true purpose. We're going to be right back. We're going to get all the programs and services. This is such a great conversation. Don't you guys agree? We're going to be right back after this. Thank you for watching. All right.
Thank you.
We're back. And I just, I'm so glad we had this time together. I really don't I can talk for hours. And we can talk for hours and hours because it's so wonderful to talk and to just be positive and to, I'll say how I just say, how to kick it real about some real life things that people have issues with. And I don't want people to have issues. We need you, your nonprofit organization in Detroit. And I have been around a long time in Detroit as a business owner. And I'm going to tell you, I have never felt so connected about another nonprofit outside of Bountiful Group like yours.
Thank you.
Like this is just an amazing, amazing thing. So you have awesome programs and services, so many things, homes that you're going to be providing for people. I was telling you about, there are homeless shelters who have time limits that put their people out, and that's it. It's like it's done. You got 4 months, you're out of here. And your program, affording people to be able to come in right after maybe they're getting put out of the homeless shelter and their time is up, or whatever their situation is, but it's a good resource like that.
Care,
yes, at foster care, aging out, they're able to come there and they're able to get all of these phenomenal resources. You have in the transitional house, it's not just like they come there and live, but share with us what people get when they come to the affordable transitional housing offered by Perspectives for Life.
Okay, the main goal is to get them whole and well-rounded. So in order for that to happen, one, their credit has to be reviewed, okay, and get their credit repaired, start the process on that. Two, they must be employed, so we have to get them to a place where they can obtain a job.
Yes, right.
Three, we offer everything that you could possibly need to take you through the cycles to be prosperous in whatever you do, to include mentoring.
That's right.
And it might even be a family not just a single male or a single woman or a woman with a child. It might be a family. In that component, a lot of families have their mother-in-law or their mother.
Yes.
So we offer services for the senior in that home so that you two can go to work to build the foundation that you need in order to survive. The whole program is set up to take you to where you need to be. There's even something called a dream resource, and that's very important to me.
That's
and
right.
why that's important to me is because every little boy and every little girl had a dream of what they wanted to be and what they wanted to do. And it's not what happened to you, it's how did you get here? Tell me about you. And let's review your dream resource, because you know what? I believe there are a lot of entrepreneurs out there and they just don't know how to get there. We even offer that. If you want to know how to get in business, have it set up properly. I'm not talking about no fly-by-night where you got to shut it down because you didn't pay the taxes and things of that nature. To teach you how to be a business man or woman, an entrepreneur, and to be in control. Some people are meant to have a job. Some people are not.
That's right.
And so that's part of what we do, even with the mentoring portion, is to tap into you and to make you realize, okay, this is how things are.
Yeah.
This is how things could be. Why is it like that?
That's right.
So what do we need to do?
That's right.
And to have somebody with you
to coach you through that process.
Because like I said, there's many things you can tap into. Some people might not go. Some people, sometimes you can't judge a book by a cover.
That's right.
You got to judge it by the contents.
That's
what
right.
you read it. And I've seen people say, oh, they're not going to do nothing. They're not going to do. They said that about me.
They said that about, wait a minute, hold on. They said that about Biggie Small, too.
Okay. They said that girl not going to amount to much. And if you knew my life, you probably would have thought that earlier.
That's right.
But I changed my perspective in different
and took
shifts and throughout my life, and I dealt with what I dealt with, and I chose
to have a positive perspective about. You chose to have a positive view,
and you got to let the person know you got value, because a lot of people somewhere along the way, I don't know if it's something somebody said to them or something that happened to them or a family dynamic. You have value. You was created with value.
That's right.
So don't let anybody tell you you don't have value. Let's just bring you to the knowledge of who you are. Because you got to know who you are. I often say, I don't tell nobody who I am. Because if I have to do that, I don't know who I am. And I definitely know who I am.
Yes, and you are phenomenal. You are an inspirer, and you've actually NAACP award recipient. Yes. I mean, you don't even talk about this. A nurse. Yeah. I mean, just so much. You've accomplished so much in your life. A veteran.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Marine Corps.
What's
a Marine always Marine?
Yes, and that is so amazing. That's so amazing. So, hey, look, we are ready. We are so ready. I want you to take this time. Before we go, I'm going to say my little word. I'm just going to say this. Change your mind, change your perspective. That's by Mrs. Loretta Osby. And I'm going to let you know that it's really, really up to you to know who you are and to choose to be positive about your life, therefore changing your perspective. It is really up to you, and it is your lifesaver. I want you to get a vision board. As you know that we talk about your vision, creating the vision that you want and putting no limitations on it. And I'm telling you, write the vision down. Then I want you to picture it. That's your assignment for this week. Picture what you've written down, and I want you to hold on to it, refer back to that vision constantly, and use that exercise to modulate into a consistency of choosing to be positive. Change your perspective. Change your mind.
Change your mind.
Change your life. Okay, you know what I want you to do? I want you to look in that camera over there, and I want you to give them a final word and let them know how they can reach you and get a hold of Perspectives for Life.
Okay. One way is to call us at 313-652-0303. That's 313-652-0303. Another way is perspectivesforlife.com. That's perspectives, the number 4, life.com. And also, the 19th of this month, we will be having, May 19th, we will have a networking brunch from 1 to 4. And I'm putting that out there because I want like-minded people who have resources, who have the same concerns that I have, who can tap into what Perspectives for Life is doing. It's not time to rebuild anything. It's time to take what we got and put it together and make it work for the people. And it's not one person over another person. It's about bringing it all together to make people whole. Again, that's perspectivesforlife.com. That's perspectives, the number 4, life.com. And the phone number again is 313-652-0303.
Woo! I love it. Okay, listen. I mean, this has been absolutely awesome. I want to thank you so much for coming on Transformation TV Live. Man, I'm telling you, this is just amazing. I love it. Listen, I want everybody, yes, to get online, like she says. You can actually register for that event on Facebook, all right? And you can also go to the web page, perspectivesforlife.com. Now listen, we're going to celebrate, and we're going to continue to celebrate. Even at this networking brunch, we're going to celebrate. And one thing that I've always shared with you is that if you desire change, you must first celebrate knowing that it is so. You have communities out here that look to be completely just worthless. People's lives and stories have them feeling worthless. You are an entrepreneur. You had a vision. You have a vision. You have a dream, but you fail to realize that that dream is really, really possible no matter what. So what I want you to do is come and celebrate. I want you to celebrate every day what you desire. Listen, I'll see you guys very, very soon again. And I thank you so much for watching. So visit me online, bountifulgroup.com. That is bountifulgroup.com. Don't forget to go and visit the True Purpose Development Show, radio show live on Blog Talk Radio as well as iTunes. And I want to see you soon. Visit me online also on LinkedIn and on Facebook. And I'm so happy that you joined me in my time with Loretta Osby. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you very
I'm
much.
looking forward to this. This is amazing.
I expect nothing but good.